Hey watch lovers, Brad from Brent Miller Jewelers. And today I have for us a plethora, almost a dozen watches in the 36 to 38 millimeter range. I had someone reach out actually stating that they had a slightly smaller wrist than I do and wanted to know what I would recommend for a 36 to 38 millimeter watch. And I thought instead of just picking one or two, I could give you almost everything I have in stock that I think fits the bill, and you could literally shop through this video. So I'm going to go through them real quick, show each one of these on wrist. If you're here for the specs on all of these, I'll try to link a separate video for each one of these in the description where I go through all the specs of each one. This first up, I'm going to give you three divers first. So our three dive options. I have the Tudor Black Bay 54, and I have this one on the rubber strap. Don't see it in stock on the rubber strap very often. However, I got to tell you, I have one in here, and it is extremely comfortable on the rubber strap. The Black Bay 54 here is going to be slightly longer lug to lug. I think around 46 from memory than some of these other dive watches that I show you, but I just wanted to kind of give you a look of them on wrist. I think this would be a great option on bracelet or on wrist. Again, T-fit clasp here, so you have on-the-fly micro adjustability with this model. Again, I think around 11 millimeter stick, so really a great option from Tudor. And I have several Tudors in here. I kind of try to keep these together by dive watches first, so kind of by style. Next up, the Breitling Superocean. Again, 36 millimeter watch. This is the white dial. You can get this on a bracelet. I will tell you the bracelet has polished center links from memory. But again, definitely going to be a little bit smaller lug to lug and just overall smaller feel than your Black Bay 54. But again, just giving you an idea of how this looks on my wrist. A little bit thicker, again, from memory, at least looking at it here. But again, I will link. I've done videos on, I think, on all of these, so if you want to go back then and see individual videos on each one of these, please feel free to do so. I'll link that in the description. Next up, the Heuer Aquaracer 36. This is the one actually that surprised me. Out of all the ones that I pulled today, I have not revisited this watch in a while. This one I was pleasantly surprised with, the way it fit lug to lug on wrist, just the overall feel. You can get this in different colors. Same thing with the Superocean. Superocean you can get with an orange dial, I believe a turquoise or a Tiffany blue dial as well. This Aquaracer you can get with a black dial, you can get with a white dial with a black bezel. The one thing I will say about smaller watches and the mid-size, the 36 to 38 millimeter dive watches, is the bezel to dial ratio on these can sometimes just be unproportionate, I guess. So for instance here, the three of these, the Breitling has a thinner bezel. Tudor's, I'd say, is pretty much on par, like average, what you would expect on most dive watches. And then the Heuer's is slightly thicker. And so it just gives you a little bit different view looking down at that dial. Again, I think all of these, from the dive watches, I would absolutely prefer the Heuer or the Tudor. Again, this one surprised me again today. I haven't had one of these out in a while. I will say the black model, the black dial model, and the white dial model you can get do not have the polished center links. So that would be something if you just want an all brushed look, you could get like the Tudor on the bracelets. The other thing, the T-fit, you also have on the fly micro adjustability on the Heuer here, externally from the clasp. So again, you have micro adjustability on it, as well as you have micro adjustability on the fly here with the Breitling as well. Sorry, the glove was getting stuck, but you can press this down and slide that out. So all three divers have micro adjustability, which I think is great. So there's your three dive options if you're looking for a diver under 30 or 38 or under. And then I've got 8 other watches here. I'm going to try to go through these pretty quickly. I've rambled on long enough. The Breitling Chronomat in 36. I believe the only other one here I have with the rotating bezel. So this might have been better categorized with the dive watches, although it's not a diver, just because of the bezel. Butterfly clasp on this. You have the Rollo style bracelets, which I'm a huge fan of the aesthetic. And again, the other thing I should have mentioned is price points on these. So let me go back. I did jot that down here for you. The Black Bay 54 on the rubber, $38.25. On the steel, it's I think $4 or $40.50. The Heuer, I'm looking here, Aquaracer at $3,800, and the Superocean on the rubber strap here was $51.50. So the Superocean was the most expensive out of all three. And then again here, Breitling Chronomat 36. $52.50. So again, the Breitlings are going to be on the higher end of what I've already pulled out. Moving on, I have another Breitling here. This is the Navitimer 36, $54.50. So all three Breitlings over $5,000. This one sits a little bit, I guess, taller, just the way the bracelet and case are shaped. You do have a beaded style bezel on this. Again, different colors. This is just one I had in stock. Trying to just give you an idea on wrist again, how these look on my wrist for the individual who reached out. Next up, we're going to go Carrera 36. And so the Carrera 36 3200, kind of in the mid-range of all the watches I'm going to present today. I do like the single deployant clasp here instead of having the butterfly. So that's something just personally I like. Again, I think these actually fit and wear pretty well. Could wear the 39 as well, but keeping it from 36 to 38 per request. And again, I promise you I will link videos if you want to get a little bit deeper or dive into dimensions on all these. Next up, the Omega Aqua Terra are going to be on the higher side of the price point. What we are looking at today. I picked the saffron dial. I got a couple of these in stock. This is the 38, and again, so a little bit larger than the 36s. A butterfly clasp is going to come in at $6,600. And then the last four, and again, I'm not showing these in any order whatsoever. I'll save the Grand Seiko for last. We'll go to the Tudor Black Bay 36. Fan of this watch. You have a nice anthracite dial, the 5-link Jubilee style bracelet, T-fit here, which is great. The one thing I will say on this specific Aqua Terra, the butterfly, no micro adjustment. They have introduced that on some of the new lacquer dials. This specific model does not have the micro adjustment and that butterfly clasp. Again, the Tudor here, this 36 is just a great size for me. It's a little bit thicker. I think this wears more like a 37, a little bit more wrist presence than some other 36 models I've shared. And this would be one of my favorites. This one here, Black Bay 36 here, 4,050. So again, almost in the middle, not quite on the higher end of what you're looking at. You're getting a great movement. And again, the T-fit micro adjustability on the clasp. And we'll stay with Tudor. I have a 1926, so I believe the least expensive model I have here. I'm sorry, no, I have one less expensive than this, but $2,100. This is the 36 millimeter version, white dial, blue Arabic indices, blued hands. I owned this in 39, and if I was buying again, I might buy the 36. Again, I have a preference for smaller watches. But at a $2,100 price point, I think this is a fantastic option if you like that dial. I will say the Black Bay 36 does give you a little bit more wrist presence. It's a little bit thicker, a little bit chunkier, a little bit heavier. But if you like it thin, this watch, very thin, sits nice and flush on the wrist, is a great option at 36. And then the last two come from our Seiko houses here. We got a King Seiko. This is a 37 millimeter. This is the SPB 287 with the lovely red dial. Again, butterfly style clasp, no micro adjustment on this. Really like the look of the bracelet. A little bit broader on wrist as well. And then last, but certainly not least, is the Grand Seiko. This is the SBGH 343. This is the only one I have in titanium. So not only is this a 38 millimeter watch, the titanium is super light. So you don't see a lot of watches under 40 millimeters in titanium. Yes, there are some out there. I know Hamilton has a couple of khaki fields in titanium. I would love to see some additional, I guess the Tudor Pelagos 39 is in titanium. But again, I would love to see the use of titanium or carbon in some smaller cases or smaller watches. But again, overall, I can tell you, I would wear any of, I shouldn't say wear, I would. There are some here that I like more than others, and I'll just share that feedback with you really quick. To me, the Superocean here at 36 is just, the proportions don't quite work for me. I like 36, but something about the bezel to dial ratio, the case, maybe if it was on bracelet, it'd be a little bit different. But outside of that, I guess I'll say this too. The Navitimer in 36 is not my favorite either on wrist. Again, nothing wrong with the watch itself. I do like the look of it. Just on wrist, it doesn't sit quite as well as some of the others. But other than those two, Everything else I shared with you today, I actually like the size of. I would wear on wrist. You know, if you want my favorites, I certainly would not say no to the Aqua Terra, the Black Bay 36, and then even I would say the Tag Heuer surprised me. It really did. On wrist, it wore more comfortable than I thought. Obviously, I probably wouldn't go with these diamond hour markers, but that one, the Carrera 36 was another one that I liked. Again, different color options, and then lastly, the Black Bay 54, I think would be a great option as well. So I rambled on long enough. This video is one of the longer ones I usually do, but I had a dozen watches to get through. I hope this helps somebody looking for 36 to 38 millimeter watches. If there's anything else we can do for you, anything at all, contact information is in the description. Let me know, what are your favorite models, favorite watches in that size for possibly a smaller wrist, or if you just have a smaller watch preference. As always, greatly appreciate you viewing. If there's anything we can do for you, contact information is in the description. We'll see you in the next video.